No. I let you talk. I let you get it all out and what you're saying. I said, yes, you are talking from an emotional standpoint because you're upset by this. First and foremost, I can never X out anybody who was there before me. When I met Nip in New York at Johnny Shipe's apartment. I did an interview with him. He was on tour. That was the first time I met Nipsey. Then when I went to LA, the first thing I did, instead of doing a regular tour, and I talk about this all the time, I went by his store. Me and him had a combo. At the time when I worked at Beats by Dre, he was working with, I forget the DJ's name. I forget the DJ's name. Tall, white, from LA. That got the building, and Nipsey got a mule in front of it.
Yeah.
I forget his name. So at the time, MTV was trying to do a show with me on Cars. Nipsey was supposed to pull up. Whatever happened, it didn't happen with him. Nipsey came by the office. Me and him, I did my civil TV with him and everything else. Nipsey came by the office one day. I said, yo, me and my business partner, Steve, want to speak to you. He said, all right, cool. He pulled up to the office. I said, yo, you're telling me you don't have like management, different things. Me and Steve want to work with you. Nipsey had relationships with Big U. He had relationships with so many different people. I didn't X anybody out. That's not for me to do. Nipsey has relationships with everybody. And let's bring it back to the funeral. When Nipsey died, I stopped working with Nipsey. God rest his dead. I stopped working with Nipsey in 2018. In 2018, before he went to Rock Nation. So Mac died. I was going through my own emotional trauma and time and falling back from a lot of things. And Rock Nation was handling his business. But then when he passed, I was there at the hospital and everything with everybody else. Because that day I happened to be on Crenshaw because Slutty Vegan was having an event there. And then it was the same time the situation happened with Nipsey, and we all went to the hospital. Let me just finish. We all went to the hospital. Sam reached out to me and said, yo, we're going to have his funeral at Los Angeles Funeral Home. I said, Sam, it's too many people who want to come. He was like, well, this is what they're thinking. I said, it's too many people who want to come. We got to figure out something bigger. So my role in it, I never cut a person out in the funeral. I cannot do that. That is not for me to do because you know why? There's so many people that Nipsey touched and had love for. So when it was time for even tickets and everything else, I don't have a say where people sit, who came, who did whatever else. I understand your feelings. Wait. Keita, let me finish. Between Hank, who is his manager, between Hank and Khadijah and Malika and myself, we helped organize and we helped put the whole thing together. When it was time, there were people who were like, who hit me and said, yo, y'all really can't do this online ticket thing because people in the hood, the Wi-Fi, everybody ain't got Wi-Fi, whatever the case may be. I gave a box of the tickets to his family. I said, so y'all can make sure whoever gets it that needs to be there because there's so many people who are part of his life. That wasn't my decision to make. What I had to worry about was getting the money to pay for certain things, to make sure certain things were handled. I never sit in this direction and say, Karen. I know you was before him. I've never met you. I don't know him personally to say whatever the case may be. Him and Nip had a relationship just like Nip had a relationship with a lot of other people. But for that situation, that was one of the hardest situations I had to deal with because I was already mourning a friend and I couldn't mourn Nipsey the correct way. I said, at this point, I'm going to make sure I hold this man down as much as possible. I didn't control tickets when it came to people in the community who I made sure, I said the Ethiopian, I said, save this side for people who's coming from Eritrea, from DC, which was on the side of the stage. Rock Nation had a list of their talent and everything else. I said, make sure his family and friends are sitting in the front, but it was a collective. When it comes to street politics, I don't involve myself in that. That's something that you speak to his close core about and everything else. So I'm sorry you feel, wait. No.
To this day, has a standing contract with Big U as management, and you're standing on this stage naming somebody named fucking Hank. You act like Unique Music wasn't involved.
No, listen, let me finish.
He still signed to Unique Music.
No, well, I don't know that. I don't know that. I'm telling you, referencing my point. So Hank, from 2000 to when we stopped working together, the last thing I did with Nipsey was the Jordan commercial. And that was from there. And that was 2018 that launched on Christmas. After that, he was with Rock Nation. That's in the space he's in. I can't cancel somebody out if I don't know the legal paperwork and everything else. Then we have Marathon Agency. I'm sorry that you felt as though, because there was a lot of people who hit me with that and who was just like, yo, it's just like, I have all this love. There was so many people who wanted to show him love. That wasn't something that I can
think to make a public apology to us, to those of us that broke our motherfucking back for Nip?
But did you
ever make a public apology to Unique Music for the work they put in?
I didn't know.
Did you ever make a public apology? Because you took credit for a lot of shit you didn't do.
What did I take credit for? What did I take credit for? What did I take credit for that started before Marathon? I didn't take anything to do. Proud to Pay. Proud to Pay was the first thing I worked on with Nipsey. Proud to Pay was the first thing we worked on.
You took part in the $100 CD and the $1,000. You was his manager. You got Obama. You got Jay-Z. You got Beyonce. Nip did that shit on his own. The nigga was a fucking genius. He was a pure fucking genius. And you took credit for shit you did not do. And I'm telling you, as a friend, as a person who loves Nip to death, as a person who worked beside Big U as his assistant for 17 years, them two motherfuckers broke their back to make Nip what the fuck he is today in death. And you took credit for shit you didn't do. I think anybody on the stage can vouch that you took credit for shit that you didn't fucking do. So what I'm asking you for right now, Karen, it ain't nothing against you as a person. It's against your work ethic. I'm waiting for a fucking apology. Because I spent sleepless nights with my children in the fucking studio, helping that brand, helping that company, and you didn't do a damn thing during that time. I'm waiting for an apology.
You can say that we can have an offline.
All I want from you is an apology.
I'm sorry. I can't do that. No, because she's yelling over me.
I know, Keita, you gonna get away from what this room about.
Nah, you can't. You're taking away from it because this is the first time I'm hearing about this. I didn't know the name of Big U's music.
Several people.
No, not your story, but people from the neighborhood who goes,
okay,
yo,
so
I wanted to be there. Could you let me talk? I let you get what you had to say out. And I don't want to keep making this whole thing about Nipsey. I want to move past this, but I want to respect and honor how you feel. I was not aware of what you felt. I don't know any of this. I started working with Nipsey when it came to his the $100 mixtape and when he was ready to put that out and everything else. Yes, that's when I started working with him. And when it comes to the Barack thing, yes, Marcus, who worked with him, got me that letter to read on stage. I don't know about this Beyonce, Jay-Z thing. I never took credit for that. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but the work I did for him, I'm proud of that. I'm happy for that. I never said I was with him at the beginning. I know there was Johnny Shipes, there was you, there was Big U, and there was another gentleman his name is escaping me right now, light-skinned bald head. His name is escaping me right now.
Steve Lobel.
Excuse me, Steve Lobel. Steve Lobel was there.
Is she still there or did her phone?
Lost you.
Her phone went out, but she's still here.
All right. So while she's not talking, Casey, are you back?
Reset.
All right, so no.
Keita, let her move on.
I'm going to allow her to move on. You're absolute fact, so she can touch on the Jesse Wu.
I mean, here go the thing, Keita. It was a bitch.
All
she
I'm
wasn't
asking
around.
for
Keita,
is
she wasn't
you
there.
need to apologize to the Crenshaw district for how the fuck you treated us.
Nah, Keita, let her move on.
That's all I'm asking. Apologize to the Crenshaw district.
Let her move on.
How you treated us.
Keita, can you let her move on? Let her move on.
Keita, calm down, Keita. Calm down.
Keita, let her move on. She wasn't there. We know she wasn't there. Shit, I know. Motherfucker, I was there. Shit. Let her move on.
Okay. Let me. Hey, Karen.
Yeah, let her say her piece.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get everybody quiet right now, man. Like, let them two talk.
Once she say her piece, it ain't no issue. I'm waiting for the apology on how you treated the people.
That's not going to happen. What the room is about, though.
Yes, the fuck it is, because I made the room.
I know, but you had the other young lady.
Hold on,
Keita. Let her address the other lady,
Keita.
Let them reset.
Yeah, let me reset.
They're gonna
Let me
but
reset.
you're gonna give me my apology.
Let me reset, Keita. Hold up, y'all.
They talk
Hold
to
up.
you offline on that.
Yeah, hold up. We're gonna reset right quick. I want to thank
Don't
everybody
y'all
for joining the
exchange numbers
Crenshaw
through back
District.
channel.
You feel me? If you haven't already, follow the greenhouse at the top. I want to thank everybody for joining the conversation. I want to thank Miss Karen Silver for popping in, Whack 100 for popping in. Also, everybody else is popping in. We got Timberland in the audience. Want to shout out Timberland. That's hometown. VA stand up. But look,
Yes.
this
Yes.
conversation is concerning Karen Civil. Been Fried tried to tell y'all. Conversation that was created by Keita Trotter. We're gonna let them two talk, Keita Trotter and Miss Karen Civil. That is all. Miss Karen Civil, begin. I'm gonna give you an opportunity. Go ahead, and continue to speak right now.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
sorry. My phone cut off. Listen, I'm gonna be completely transparent in this conversation. I'm not doing this in front of an audience. Keita has feelings. She has something that she wants to get off her chest. I'd rather her have a conversation with me because I didn't know all of this transpired. Again, I did the work. Everybody was a part of Nipsey's life. There was a lot of people who were part of Nipsey's life, and I never try to cut somebody off or say they weren't a part of it. So for that, I'm gonna tell her I apologize if she felt as though I didn't make her, I excluded her in any way, which to me I didn't think was plausible or think I did. But I don't want to keep this conversation going on Nip. If me and Keita can have a sidebar conversation, because this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, no, I accept your apology, Karen. But let me talk, y'all. I accept your apology, Karen, but it ain't really about me. It's about the feelings of the people of the Crenshaw district, a unique music, of the work that we put in. That's all I was asking for the apology
but
for.
I'm just saying,
You
so let's
gave it
talk
to me,
off.
and I
No, I'm giving it to you. No, the thing is, I'm giving it to you because I'm gonna honor your feelings. We could have a side conversation because I don't know again, and I had this conversation before with Wack. I don't involve myself in like the street politics
We
of it all.
definitely did. She ain't lying. She ain't lying.
I don't know the ifs and the buts. So all I know is one person came to me because I didn't even think about this. All I kept thinking about was I want to make sure the person that gave Nipsey, that took a meeting with Nipsey, that did this, that did XYZ was there. And the person who called me, actually two people, Narissa, who owns the last shop on Crenshaw, was like, Karen, all the homies don't got tickets. I said, for real, tell me how many you need. And Polly West called me, was like, Karen, what's up? Niggas out here don't got internet.
She
How we
ain't
supposed
nobody,
to get
though.
tickets? No, but I'm saying that was my way of going, okay, you have to also think in this climate and in that time, it's a million things going on. It's not to exclude you or to make you feel like you didn't matter. That's not how I'm gonna wake up in the morning. Fuck this woman who was here first and XYZ. The shit you talking about is shit I gotta deal with every day. So why would I exclude another woman? But side note, I'd rather have an off conversation with you because this is not something I want to record, and this is not a memory of Nip I want to keep going because I
y'all
was
do that.
unaware
But
of all of
look,
this.
let's move on to you addressing the lady Jess or whatever that was in here saying you was extorting her or whatever.
So Jess doesn't have no money for me to extort. So let's get straight to the end of that. Me and Jess met in 2017-18 off of social. I'm always going to reach out when there's somebody who's like doing their thing on social and she's a Haitian woman. I said, let me follow her. We started to become cool. There was a charity event in Florida. Yeah, for Louine Sweet. I believe she was on my bowling team. It was me, her, Fly Tatted Sky, Mac Main, Sam Sneak. It was a few of us who came out. That was my first time meeting her. She was hella cool and nice. Me and her, to me, I thought we were great through this time. Then 2000, let me say last year, somebody had to tell me this. So last year, let me even revert back. I heard some of the conversations she said I made her career. Never did I say I made her career. Those documents are public documents. I never said I'm never going to take credit for this girl's career because she had one beforehand. When she was going to do Love and Hip Hop, she spoke to me on the phone about it. I gave her advice. She gave me advice when I was on bullshit. I thought me and her had a great rapport and everything was cool. Tiana Taylor had a party, a Halloween party last October. I invited her to the party just like I invited a lot of people. So she hit me. There was a VIP room that was only like maybe 30, 40 people in it. It was like some chill shit. She hit me to try to come in the room. And I'm like, yo, it's a vibe downstairs. Everybody's downstairs. You don't need to come up. She thought I tried to play her. From that one situation, because she couldn't be in that room, She was upset. So here we are, January 2001 comes. Me and Ming drop our podcast, right? So we dropped the trailer for it. It's called Girl, I Guess. So a room like this is created like, yo, nigga took my flow word for word. People are texting me about a room. And I'm like, yo, what is niggas talking about? They're like, yeah, this girl said you stole her podcast. I said, stole her podcast how? Me and Ming were like, me, Ming, and Joe was sitting on the thing trying to figure out a podcast name. And I'm like, how I copy her podcast? I got Dionne Warwick, Jameson Idris, Khaled. I really went hard for the marketing of this. I ain't looking at nobody's podcast. The only person I got, like, I thought whose podcast was dope as fuck, and I was like, we gotta do an intro, was the girl Star Brim, because she had some car thing and it was really dope. I said, I love her video because they asked me to post it. So I said, yo, we gotta come on some shit like this because this was hard, but let's make ours funny. So this girl, Mother of Gotti, people keep telling me people who know both of us are not connecting us to fix the issue. They're just telling me what she said. Oh, telling her things I said. I said, listen, I don't know this fucking girl. I don't follow this girl. I don't know what her podcast is, but they were telling me hers is called Girl, Fuck You. I said, cool. I didn't copy her podcast. The reason we call ours Girl, I Guess, is when you make a mistake or you go back to somebody or you be like, I thought you was done with them. Girl, I guess. Oh, he's good to me now. Girl, I guess. That's where me and Ming referenced that from. So now I tweeted something like, yo, tell me about some other women podcasts I should listen to. Jess went underneath my comments and added the girl. So I'm like, why is Jess being funny? And I'm going to backtrack a little even more because when it comes to Jess, me and Jess had personal conversations. Like, I'm not going to sit here and like say she's the most evil. Like, I don't know who this person is now, but the person I was cool with, she was very cool. Me and her would have conversations about how people talked about us, how we were seen online and everything. So it's like she did an interview about Nick Cannon and this girl Danielle who worked for Nick and how she was excluded. The girl Danielle called me in tears and was like, she knew I knew Jesse, and she's like, why would she do this? I said, you know what? I don't like when we do this with each other. Let's fix it and let's make money. And I don't want Jess. I know Jess is a comedian, but I don't want her to keep like going at niggas when I know she can get opportunities from this. So instead of her beefing, I want to give her an opportunity. So I hit Danielle. I said, Danielle, are you cool if I put her on the phone with Nick? Because I want to fix this. Put them on the phone, fixed it. It's cool. To me, that's what I would think friends do, especially if you know both parties. So I called Jess on the phone and I'm like, yo, Jess, I was like, what's that tweet about? She's like, what do you, I was like, Jess, why are you insinuating something? I said, Jess, listen, man, when it came to you and homegirl, I tried to fix it. I didn't try to add all this extraness. I said, all y'all niggas know this girl, but y'all won't tell me what exactly the problem is. So it's like, why y'all insinuating something? Me and you supposed to be cool. I didn't know we had a problem. Like, what you adding to this for? We hung up the phone. She writes me some tough girl message. And I respond back and I said, Jess, man, I said, I see you for who you are now. Please don't call my phone no more. Then she gets on Twitter and she goes, you know how I give it up. Bitch, who you talking to? Like, yes, I'm a bitch born from Brooklyn, raised in Jersey. Stop talking to me like this. You know how I give it up, talking all this tough talk when we just was on the phone. Now you got a problem with me because you want to be friends with this girl? Like, because you want to team up all of a sudden? All you had to do was put me on the phone with this girl or rectify a situation. You wanted clout and attention. That's what she wanted. Then they're both going back and forth. They don't got nothing to say to me. It turns into Karen's a scammer. Karen's this, Karen's that. I've never heard of your podcast. But then Mouse Jones DMs me and he's like, Karen, you know who that is? Somebody who does all my videography work. That's his sister. I said, are you kidding me? He said, yeah, that girl that has an issue with you is his sister. So you got to find a way to fix it. So I called Nigel. I said, Nigel, why didn't you tell me this was your sister? He said, nah, I talked to her about it. I told her she was wrong. And I think, people putting shit in her head. And, I think people who don't like you putting shit in her head. I'm like, cool, but I don't like all of this because she's a Haitian girl too. And I'm not doing all of this. Like, I just launched the podcast. It's no disrespect to this girl. Why it always got to be a show and entertaining for niggas? And we all Haitian women. That was that, right? So now we're moving forward. Now the stuff in Haiti, hurricane and different things. And I do my annual stuff for Haiti where I raise money. Here go Jess in my mentions. Oh, Karen gonna steal the money. Karen's gonna this. I'm like, Jess, I don't even talk to you. It's cool. We don't got to be friends. We don't have to be anything. I fall out with people all the time. I don't talk to them because you know what's going to happen? We're going to be friends again. So it doesn't matter. But here she goes. She want to put on for Twitter because that's her audience. That's how she engages. She keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and keep going on and on and on. So I said, cool. She told me this is how she give it up. Then she comes back. She's like, you deleted my Twitter. You deleted my Instagram. I said, girl, you're harassing me all day long. What did you think was going to happen? Like, what are you talking about? All somebody got to do is report your post. Like, your whole social is dedicated to me because you want clout off of this. And then the girls made a whole SoundCloud podcast off of it, right? And I'm like, yo, you're really creating something because you don't necessarily like me. Nothing built on a shady foundation is ever going to be solid. And now her and the girl aren't friends. Jess kept going. And what made me take the lawsuit to Jess, what made me take it there with her, and what irked me is I've worked with Hope for Haiti for 3 years. This company is solid. You know what everybody say about Haiti, what people say about giving money and everything else. This company is solid. She tweets when the hurricane happened, make sure you don't give money to Karen Civil. But then her next tweet, she puts, these are the correct organizations. These are real organizations you should give to. The first one she tweeted was my organization. So I'm like, at this point, Walter, what am I supposed to do with this girl? Send her a cease and desist because she won't shut the fuck up. Because now I know her end game. Her end game at this point is, you know what? I'm going to keep talking about her because I get clout and attention off of this. Jess is going to get her attention, whether it's good or bad. She's going to keep getting her attention. So I had my lawyer take care of it. Now here she is. She's sitting doing interviews. You're getting interviews off of me. What do you think's going to happen? Remove it. Like I said in my live, she got offended and went hard because I went on my live and said, listen, I'm happy. I want Jess to be the best person in the world she is. Whatever the case may be, stop discussing me. Because now all of a sudden, you're like, oh, she ran with the Clintons. What are you talking about? I talked about that in my Breakfast Club interview before, and it wasn't the Clintons. Working with Hillary's campaign, I talked to her about that before I even did it. So it's like you didn't have a problem with me back then. You didn't have a problem then, but now you're trying to find all this stuff. Use this time for your career. And it's like you going back and forth and doing all this. And she went haywire yesterday. I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday, because I went on live because we haven't been doing the podcast because I've had my own medical reasons. So people kept saying, what's up with the podcast? What's up with you and Ming? What's this and that? I said, let me just clear all misconceptions. I said, hey, I was like, listen, me and Jesse we don't have to be friends. It's okay. We don't need to be in a place of understanding or whatever it is. You can still wish somebody well and let them go about their way. For some reason, that bothered her. You are allowed. People got to understand. You chose to go to war with me, and now you're mad at the weapons I choose. Yes, I went the legal route. I went the legal route because that's the only thing. I'm not about to sit in the street and fight you and XYZ. And she's like, I fake booked her. No, that's a court-appointed person to get whatever to serve you papers. That has nothing to do with me. I write a check to my lawyer who handles it. Nobody lied on you. Nobody disrespected you. You sit here every chance you get, you defame me. You're not even friends with the girl you started the podcast with. I'm not the problem, Jess. All you got to do is fucking relax. And when it comes to the apology, she forgot to mention this is her second lawyer. Her first lawyer is the one who came to us and said, listen, Jesse wants to drop the case if she apologizes. I said, cool. I want to see the apology before it goes up because I know how Jesse apologizes. No offense, not in a bad way. I've seen her comedian style. I'm like, nah, I just want to prove it before she puts it up. Now you're trying to make me seem like some malicious because I don't want to go back and forth with you. The situation isn't over. Yes, they said because I am a public person, they couldn't find slander. But it's still defamation is happening because she continues to do this. You go do an interview. I have yet to discuss you. I came in this room now because people are hitting me like, yo, it's a room about you. I'm not about to move away from anything. I'll own my bullshit when I do it. But you started with me. I didn't come at you. I didn't disrespect you. You decided to partner with somebody didn't like me. You wanted to have a moment, even with your like, you're discrediting during a time where Haitian people, where we're fucked right now with this hurricane. You're doing your thing. I'm not hating on it. You're trying to hate on the organization I'm working with, but then you're still tweeting them. So what are you talking about? Like what are you talking about? And I'm not the only Haitian woman you have a problem with. It's every woman in a large Haitian media personality. I may be the ones you guys are familiar with. Her and Super Cindy have a problem. Her and the lady who runs Louine's Suite have a problem. You know, I know people may not like Mona Scott. Like sometimes Jess, and I'm not gonna be in here like she wanna do berate me and everything else. I don't have that in my heart for her because you know why? I still want the girl to win. Just leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone. Get your interview, get your thing. I never once said, girl, I made you. I said I helped you. I helped you. There's a difference. I didn't know you long enough to do XYZ. And the crazy part is from her ex-managers to people who worked with her, probably she got the same thing too, people texting her and everything else. I don't put it on social. You can look on my social. I don't discredit you and use my platform to talk about you every single day, but this turns her on. I don't know what hoopla you get off of this, but you literally made me have to take this legal route with you because I can't sit in the street and fight you. You're mad over nothing. And then even with like, she's extra annoyed and it's past the party thing. She's extra annoyed because she's like, well, Karen didn't sue the other girl. Because you know why? Real niggas put me on the phone with the girl. All these niggas is kikiing, laughing that two bitches don't get along, but a real Crip nigga put us on the phone from LA who don't got nothing to do with nothing. Say, yo, what's the problem? I said, what are you talking about? He said, you got a problem with this girl named Mother? I said, what are you talking about? He said, no, I'm about to put you on the phone. We don't do shit like this. A real street nigga had to fix it. But it's all these other industry niggas in the middle of shit, like enjoying it and kikiing, and she's loving it. And like, I don't have time for this. So that's why
how
I'm
did
like,
she win the
Jess,
case?
she didn't. I just spoke on that. She didn't win anything. So for the slander, they dismissed. But for the defamation, it's continuing on. She showed you half of a document. The thing is way longer than that, and it's going to continue on because they would not let me amend. They would not let me amend my files to add the additional stuff. She didn't win anything. So she run around, I'm gonna get a Chanel bag, I'm gonna get a this, I'm gonna get a that. Her lawyer wanted to settle. Her lawyer wanted to settle for nothing but $16,000 for his
lawyer fees.
Law fees. Yeah, his lawyer fees. This case is far from over. And it would have been over if she would have just left me alone. I don't talk about you. I don't go do an interview and go, yes, I hate Jessie Woo. Don't hire Jessie Woo. Don't do. She's the one doing this. Every chance you get, you keep at me because you know why? This is the attention you wanted. This is the attention. You like this shit. I don't want this. I don't want this for myself. I'm cool. Because you know why? You and I were friends at one point. So I can't even sit here in front and be like, oh, fuck this, the way she's on this. That lets me know you were never my friend. I'm not going to sit on here on some fuck this B, fuck this, because she's been in my house. She's been in my space. She's cried to me. I've cried to her. So it's like, we both know how it feels to be in this Haitian media space where at times you don't feel appreciated. But then to see her turn her back the second she thought another bitch didn't like me, excuse me, let me not even call this girl a bitch. The second she thought another woman didn't like me, she jumped shit because I get it. It's popularity over purpose for her. If that's the way she moved, cool. I just don't need that energy. And she brought the lawsuit upon herself because you kept talking about me. And it's the disrespectful fact of everything that's happening in Haiti. I'm not down crediting what you do and how you do stuff and how you're moving. Like, stop doing that to me. Stop playing with me. You're playing with my name. So what else was I supposed to do? I can't put hands on this girl. What else am I supposed to do? But you're like omitting and adding things. Karen did this. I woke up one day. Let me write her this. There's literally, my lawyer handles everything. I write him a fucking check. He explains it to me. The service person hit her. Yeah, they sent me a copy of the fucking tape and nobody sent it around. Yeah, I showed it to my homegirl. Like, yeah, no, I served her. Hopefully she leaves me alone because she was arguing with my homegirl too. She don't have a copy of it. Nobody threatened her. Nobody made her feel like anything. So like, what am I gaining out of this? What am I gaining from stopping her from doing anything? She's literally on the new season of Wildin' Out. I could have said, Nick, dub that. I'm not going to be that person. She still deserves every blessing that's coming her way. Just leave me the fuck alone.
All right, Casey, take a moment.